So I mixed up 1,250 milliliters or grams of paint with I think it was 70 grams of Catalyzed. Of course, I used the new LCAT 100 LV, which mixed in perfect. But you can see the 50-foot hose, I used just about the whole thing to get the paint all the way through it. That's how much paint those 50-footers hold. And so, that is it. We're going to leave it just like that and come back tomorrow and clean her up. Alright. Yeah, you know, this should be interesting. Okay, so it's the next morning. It's now 11 a.m. The machine has sat here all night with Envirolax Catalyzed 170 TB. And open it up, and you can see that we got a real situation here. This is catalyzed paint. It's going to be like that all through the machine, right to the gun. And this is how you clean it. Let's get into it. So, the paint's catalyzed. You know, you had your, whatever came up. Either got too hot out and the paint catalyzed on you within 2 hours, or you had an emergency and you had to leave your machine full of catalyzed paint, and you come back to it and it's rock hard on the inside. So where do you start? And so when you look at the Tritech machine, it's pretty simple actually. You got your pump mechanism that's off this hopper, and then you get the prime spray assembly. And so the paint basically flows, in a line straight here. And so I kind of like to start with the filters. And like I said yesterday, I know that in a situation like this, there's a couple of components that, you're going to end up throwing out. The first is the spray tube itself, the spray hose. I know that the paint is rock hard in here, virtually impossible to get out. So I'm going to start with that, and I'm just going to use an adjustable wrench, and I'm just going to take that hose right off of there. Oh yeah, real hard. And so this is. Yeah. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's rock hard right through this whole thing. And so my next step is going to be to release the gun. And you need 2 wrenches for that. And I'm going to pop that off as well. So it's also really jammed in there. I don't know if that's if you're able to see that right there. But yeah, so the gun is completely sealed. So I'm going to put that aside. I know I got to work on it. The next thing I want to get off is this spray tube. You can see, the catalyzed paint is just, or this is the prime tube. It's just completely, full. So let's take that off. And so what do you need for that? You need a screwdriver. I happen to have one right up here. I'm just gonna release this clamp and grab it off of there. And that loosens it right there. I'm just gonna kind of work it down and off. Oh yeah, that's hard. So anyhow. So there's that. Just gonna put that in there for now. It did not want to come off. So we're gonna use a little bit more muscle on it. I might end up having to cut that off and replacing it. So, you know, we'll see how it works out. Next thing I want to do is I want to take off this. Well, you know, before I take that off, I'm just going to crank this, get this off of here. I mean, you know, you got a situation like this. You know, that's hard paint there. So that's going right into the sink as well. And now I'm going for this filter. And I need my big adjustable wrench for that, because I'm going to get that out of there. Look like that's popping right off of there. Ooh, yeah, that's something you don't like to see. Right there. Oh, that's trouble. Right into the sink. I'm gonna work on that with however I gotta get the paint out. And now, looking down in there, you know you're gonna have your work cut out for you. Because that is hard paint. So now it's time to get that spray prime assembly off of there. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Right, like this. Okay. Now we're gonna take all this stuff out of here. Everything that can come off, I'm gonna take off. Let's see what we got here. Because it's all gonna get cleaned out. You know, even if you gotta, you know, jam a little something sharp down through there to blast all that stuff out of there. That's what's going to end up happening because it is sealed. So the next step here is going to be taking this off. And you can see that is just completely rock hard in there. We're going to take that out. Now, to get this spray prime assembly apart, I'm going to have a little bucket ready for all the little pieces. And you need a sharp, there's a pin right on the end of this that you need to get off of there. And so what you do is you just take one of these owls, I think they're awls. You just tap that pin out of there. And you use a pair of pliers, grab it from the bottom, pull that pin out, and don't lose it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set it back in here. And I'm going to put this aside. And since this does not need to be cleaned, I'm going to put it in a separate bucket. And put it up on a shelf. Keep track of it. see that the paint is just rock hard. So I'm going to put this in this bucket here. Now the way this thing works is it's two parts. The brass part can come off, so we're going to try and take that off as well. I got a socket over here. That's perfect for this. Where'd it go? Right here. And so this is 13/16, and it fits right over the top of this like that. And now we can just use a wrench and extract this brass piece. So be careful. There we go. So the goal here is to kind of, that's not bad, you know, that brass piece is clean. There's a spring inside here. And so we're going to need a lot of work in there to get that paint out. No big deal. Alright, now let's go after this thing. Let's see if we can just unscrew it. From the assembly here. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to be possible. Oh, I think it's off. So we're just going to work this thing down and off. You know, sometimes you have to put a little pressure on there. Wrench. And work it right on the tip here. There we go. So, you know, we might be able to get the paint out of there by force. So I'm just going to put it aside. And let's see here. I'm going to try and get this out one more time. Nice and easy. Let's see what we got here. A little bit smaller than that. Than that. A bit bigger than that. Okay. No worries. Come into my drawer here and match that up. inch. Nope. Not a 3/8. Not that. Big. 14 millimeter. $15 millimeter. Do is go in here and kind of scrape out the loose paint. Right. And then poke this up in here. As much out of there as you can. Let's see if I can move the camera and give you a little bit better view of what's going on here. Alright, so we're back at it. We're taking apart the prime spray assembly. And you can take off the filter and you can see, you know, it's just completely full of catalyzed paint. We're going to put that aside to work on in a minute. Underneath here, there's this fitting. And we're going to get that off with a 9/16 socket wrench. And hopefully we can get up in there, grab it. Oh, it's on there. I like to tighten it, loosen it, loosen it. completely full of catalyzed paint. Again, put it in the bucket with the rest of the things that we need to clean. And now it's going to be kind of a manual thing. I'm just going to, let's see if I can get that piece off too. What size is that? And I'm just going to use the adjustable wrench on that. And so everything's going to be easier if you can just dismantle it all. If you can't, then this piece right here really looks like it's never meant to come off. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that on there, and I'm going to try and just clean it out manually, like this. Alright, there's one there. Start cleaning it out. Open here. Clean that out. You can kind of see the paint. There. What I like to use is a little compressor here. Kind of blow out whatever I can. You know, loosen it up and blow. The closer you get, the better. So this is where you want to be able to have some, I got these nice little Q-tips from Harbor Freight. And they fit in here real nice. And you just get in there and really work it out. Again, I'm just going back and forth. And here's the back end, the metal, the wood part. Just clean out everything you can. Yeah. Nice. A little crud cutter in here too to try and soften the paint. That's what I'm going to do here. And so I'm just going to spray it in there. Get back in there with the Q-tip and try and clean out those metal parts as good as I can. on through. Right. That's looking really, really, really good. You know, get all that paint out of there. I can get in there with a Q-tip. You can see in here that everything is so well built that nothing really broke. I mean, it's just hard paint in there. I'm just going to blow in there with a compressor and yeah. Nice. Pretty good. What next? So now I'm going to work on these pieces in the sink, and I'm going to move the camera, so I'm going to pause you for a second. Okay. Well, we got a bunch of pieces to clean out here. Might as well start with the biggest and go to the smallest. And move this stuff out of here. Some room to work. And a hopper assembly here. So again, full of paint. I'm just going to use this. I just want to push that because there's a filter in there. I'm just going to try and pop it out. There we go. Like that. So over in the trash, I'm just going to scrape off as much of this. I mean, you can make sure we can see that here. There's the filter. Right? There's a ton of paint on there. Toss that out. Now, let's just work with this first. See what we can get out of here. Just by some crud cutter and a brush, my bet is I can get a high percentage of paint out here. Might even be able to recover the whole thing. So just bring it down. My brass brush. Pretty good. No, not bad at all. Pretty good. That'll definitely work. And compressed air. Definitely usable. Okay. I'm just going to put a little card cutter in there in the bucket after the part's clean. Let it soak a little bit. Crud cutter. So we got our spray valve here, also completely catalyzed. So step one is to get this little gadget, and we're just gonna follow the same kind of process here. I'm just gonna work all that hard paint out of there as best I can. I got a couple of nice brushes here. Force my way down in here. That one might be a little big. I'm going to go with this one. Just a more brush. So, hitting something in there. This is kind of a trial and error thing, and you know, it might be best just to find something that's about the right size and push it right through, you know, right? You do that, and a little water through it, and then hit it with a brush. Brush through there. Yeah. There we go. That is great. Nice and clean in there. This goes over here. Back to the screen. A little time to soak. Let me get the rest of this paint out of there. Okay, as good as it was when it first started, so put that off to the side as a clean element. And now I'm going to attack this thing, right? Just going to scrape out as much paint as I can. Into the trash. My fingers. And then try to cutter it up. So just gonna go at it. surprised at how nicely it comes off. It's basically just scraping off the inside of this hopper. So, you know, elbow grease, that's all you really need is elbow grease. A lot of this paint was here. You saw in the beginning. Didn't look to me like this hopper screen had ever been removed in the trials, but the paint's coming out, you know? I'll put a little more coat cover in there. Get in there. Not bad, right? I mean, a little more crud cutter, a little more soaking, and I think that's going to be crystal clean. We'll put that to the side for a second to dry up. So we got a bunch of things left here. I'm going to go with this next. And, continue the cleanup now. I'm just going to tip you over to the trash for a second. And we're going to try and clean out this. So, I don't want to break this filter, because I think I can recover it. So I'm going to try and work it out nice and slow. If I can break it out, maybe I'll be able to get out, you know, a lot of the paint at the same time. Yeah, it's coming out. Coming out like a big block. Let's see here. Where is it? Right there. So, yeah, still got our work cut out for us, but hey, not bad. Well, what we can do to get this stuff off of here? I'm just gonna. I'm getting around this. You know, you're just gonna pick it off. You're just gonna do your best. You go in there with a. You got the spring in there too. If you can grab that spring and drag it out, you might be able to get, you know, good high percentage of the paint out at the same time. Let's see if I can grab it with my pliers. What did I do with those little pliers? This might work. So I'm just going to grab it with the pliers and see if I can drag that spring out of there. It's coming. Yeah. I'm going to try and just break out some of this paint, make it a my goal here is to not have to replace any parts, but like the spray tube, spray hose, some parts are just going to be too full of paint. You're not going to be able to recover, but we'll do our best. Stuck in there. Let's get a little, we're going to need a little more leverage here. We're going to go with a screwdriver and try to grind out some of that. Hardened paint. Avoid breaking this filter. I want to avoid it because I'm cheap. I don't want to buy anything new. Right. Paint's just coming out, right? Alright, give it another shot here. Take out the spring. A little close. I feel like I could just there we go. In there, right? It's just thinking all that, gosh, that's on there. Just gonna get that, breaking it out. Talking about Tritech, you're talking about real high-end. Everything is high-end. You know, look, I put a ton of force on this filter, and I'm going to be able to clean it. I'm beating the heck out of this spring, and it's in perfect condition. You know? Over to here, adjust the camera a little bit, back to the sink. Special. This one works great for this. Right here. Clean stuff. Now the filter. Wire brush it. Right, on the outside. A little bit more here. Little crud cutter. Got this brush right here, fits perfect in the filter. And I was going to twist it up. Right. Look at that. That's a brand new filter. That was full of catalyzed paint, and now we're in great shape. Huh? Right. Okay, now we're into the last final piece of this filter. And this should be the easiest one out. Just because it's so hard in there. Crud cutter. I got this. I'm just going to go in there. Work it. Loosen up all that paint. Pretty good. Still some paint left in there. I don't know if you can see inside of that. But there's still a little bit in there. Reach in there with the brush again. More crud cutter. Looking good. So for the final step, I want to be able to reach to the bottom. And this type of brush is perfect for it with this. It really hits around the spring that's in there. Right? I know you can't see to the bottom there, but it is crystal clean in there. So when we reinstall this, because there's still going to be kind of little flakes in there, I'm not going to put the filter back in yet. I'm just going to install it without any of the tube filters, because I want it to be able to pass through and come out in the water that comes out. So we're going to move on to the next step, and that is some of these smaller pieces. And it's going to be real detail work. So I'm going to kind of zoom in. So some of them are in good shape. that spraying is, fine. I'm just going to put it with the clean stuff. And now we have this sits at the bottom of the filter assembly. This spray prime assembly. And this is also full of paint. So we're going to try this, and it fits perfect through there, luckily. And I can just kind of push that paint right out of there. Yeah. It's the perfect diameter to grind that stuff out. It's just going to push it all out. And then I'm going to go in there with my little pick on this side and just clean up the rest of this brass fitting. A little bit of water, a little bit of the crud cutter, a little brush. Just do this side. Here. Looking from the brass brush, there's a little bit of paint stuck around this fitting. So it's in the threads there, so I'm just gonna work it out with my pick. Steel and just gently clean that out of there. Just want it to be as clean as possible, obviously. Clean. A little bit left on there. I'm going to get out of there. That's a little bit of dry paint. Right there. Alright. Looking good. So that fits on the bottom over here. Yep, let's do that in the rest of the ride. Alright, moving on to, this is the spray prime assembly, the fits in the side, and this is where the knob goes to turn it from spray to prime, and this is just as the valve here. So this one's a little tougher to clean because all these little holes need to be cleaned out of paint. That's where your pick is really going to come in handy here. And so gentle. Okay, so just working this. Now, you can manually do this, like I'm doing, or with a part like this, if you have an ultrasonic cleaner, then this is the kind of piece you would want to use it on. And so, you know, I don't know if I need it for this, to be honest. It looks pretty good here. I'm just going to try to continue to clean it with a crud cutter and see how good I can get. Crud cutter and a brush. That's pretty good. Nice and clean. So the last piece of that spray prime assembly is that brass piece. It's pretty clean. Alright. Pretty nice. Cleaned up pretty well. The prime side, the prime spray valve side, and now we're going to attempt to clean out the pump side. So the first step is to loosen up the bolt here, and unscrew it, and you're going to want to put that aside. You can see that's completely packed with paint, catalyzed paint. Now sometimes it's helpful to pop this thing off because you want to be able to see where your piston is. Alright, you want the piston up while you're trying to clean this, not down in the way of everything. And so we might have to manually move it up. Do that. I'm going to open this front case. Yeah. You can see it's in the down position. So we're going to try and attempt it to go up. And you do that with a yeah. That ain't going to go. That ain't gonna go manually. Let's see if we can get it to go by plugging her in. Okay. Okay. And so we're just gonna go real slow here. And we want it to be all the way up. Right there. go back to unplugging it. You don't want this to turn on at any point. And one of the tricks is, so if you think about it, the pump draws the paint up this way, or down through the hopper and up through the hopper tube, up into the pump assembly, and it travels through here into the prime spray valve. And so there's a little tube that you can kind of clean out, that you're going to need to clean out once you oh yeah, it's tight. You might be able to get something through there. Right. Get it from the bottom here. Yep. Really, really impacted with paint there. We're just going to try and draw out, by any means necessary, any of the paint that's in there. And, you know, whatever you got to use to get it out. I like to use Q-tips. And you can try different sizes. Especially these wooden ones, when they break, they're like a chisel almost. You can kind of work it in there. Drawing out some of that catalyzed paint. And you're just going to clean out as much as you can. Again. And again. Hopefully you can see that there. So, back to the wire trick. We're going to try and push our way through here. As you can. Lots of times this is a good time for your, hot water hose and bucket, and you can just wash it through as much as you can. Just like everything else, we were using water pressure to cure it. I just went over and got my compressor, my air gun, and so this one's good because you can kind of aim it where you need to. And then we're going to put it up into here. Let's see if we can just blow out some of the good. So, still working that little tube there. Seems to be pretty clean in there. We shall see. Okay, so this little bad boy, you gotta get this brass piece out of the stainless steel. And so how are we gonna do that? A couple different ways. Try a screwdriver. You're gonna wanna be very gentle with the brass. You're just gonna work it up a little bit at a time. Beautiful. This one came up right super easy. So inside of here is the ball that you do not want to lose right there. Look at that. You can see it's really stuck inside that. Right there. Hopefully you can see that. So that's the ball. We gotta get that thing out of there. Use your little pick. Alright. You're gonna be gentle. You're gonna grab that thing. You'll have the perfect impression in the paint. That's cool. Put it aside. You don't want to lose that thing. That thing is key to this whole system. Now you're just going to gently scrape that paint out of there. It's going to go right in the trash. Oh, look at that. It's gonna come out in one big chunk. Look at that. Right? So I'm going to get inside of there as clean as possible. Okay. Even fully catalyzed, none of the seals broke on this thing. They're all still good. So I'm just going to run some hot water and some crack butter. I'm going to brush this thing out until it's clean. So this being a brand new machine, it's real easy. You know, there's nothing really built up in here. Super clean brass. Put that aside. And I'm on after this one. Same situation. Just gonna use the end of a Q-tip, and I'm gonna try and push this out in one piece. And it'll come out. Big chunk there. And going back down into here. I need this little metal one. I got a little one of the gaskets right there. Came right out. There to pop that over with the ball. And then I'm going to go back after. There's another metal gasket here. I'm going to clean that up. Bit of crib cutter. Work it up. You want to remember which side which gasket went on. And so the deeper hole gets the metal gasket. And what would be the bottom gets this plastic one, this rubber gasket. Need a little more trip cutter. Get in here and clean this thing out. Super clean. And so we're going to put this back in there. This is still in pretty good shape. Of course, that goes on this side. All right. That's going to fit right down in there. White one goes in there. Another one drops in here. Like that. Right. And then you're going to get your brass. You get the ball. Alright, it should be nice and clean. You can drop the ball in there. Oops. Hold on to that. Alright. And these are going to fit together. And it's going to cinch in. I just want to start recording here. Okay, that's a go. Screw that in. All right. All right. Cinch it up. Whoop, whoop. Cinch it up. Until it's snug. You're going to feel it get there. Good. You can see this catalyzed paint coming out. That spray prime tube there. And so what it's doing is it's just working its way back through. And hopefully we're going to be able to push the rest of that through. If not, we'll open it up and we'll re-attack it. Now, of course, I'm not putting the filter in here because I want everything to pass out the spray prime valve and into the sink or the bucket. This thing. Of course, put that back on. Just making sure everything's still tight. Okay, that's definitely tight. Now we're gonna bang this on. And of course is our pressure gauge. And now here's our filters. Go inside of here. I'm not going to put back. This is the hopper filter, nice and clean. Now we're going to reassemble the prime spray valve assembly. pieces are right here. And so in order to do that, like this, right? This goes on like that. This goes on like this. Right, you're just going to squeeze it in there. These are the handles. So this is where you need two adjustable wrenches. And mine are right here. Where's number 2? Socket. Put that back together with the socket here. Again until it's snug. And there it is, snug. I'm going to take this and make sure the thread's nice and perfect. Put it in by hand. And then I'm just going to crank it in again until it's snug. You know, these things hold a lot of pressure, so you're going to cinch it up there, and you got your, see this has a little pin on it, which you're going to match up to the hole there, and then this goes on like, I'm going to get this out. Let's line these up right, like that. So if this has to go here, a little bit of figuring out, this is going to go like this. So I got to turn this pin to line up like this. Looking for that flat side, right? Which is going to be right here. And so I want it to go on like that. So you want the flat side down on the pin like this, right? And then this is going to work like that, right? You put that in, and with your little hammer, okay. And we're going to make it down towards prime. And we're going to reconnect this little tube. Right. Oh, before we do that, we want our our clamp. All right, and so you put that on. Add the clamp. Your screwdriver. All right. You're gonna lock that back on. Let's get it started in an easy position here. Get it up there, nice and easy. You know, it was pretty lucky that we were able to blow out with the water pressure the catalyzed paint out of this too, because this was one that I really expected I would have to throw away. Alright, so I want to be able to drain this thing into the sink. Alright, so I'm just put this on here. Right. And I'm going to get the Tritech gun. So no filter in the gun either. I want everything to pass through, not being stopped by anything. You can see the gun came out nice and super clean. And that was just pretty much the same process of picking out the hard paint and cleaning it all up. I'm going to tighten these up a little bit in case we have to use a lot of pressure, right? Because there might be a little bit of paint left in there. I want to make sure that we don't have any leakies. There we go. Put on the hopper right here. All cleaned up, cleaned out. You can see. Again, no filter. And this one, you know, this one comes in and out a lot. I like to, there's supposed to be 2 gaskets here. This one did not come with a second gasket, so I'm just gonna, just a little Vaseline. I'm just gonna lube up this gasket. Just a little bit of Vaseline, and when the hot water runs through, it's just gonna melt it and clean it out, of course. That can be a real issue with these hoppers. If that second gasket fails, then the machine starts to draw air up through here, and you get that as if it's losing prime. Now, this is really the moment of truth here. This is the initial test of, if we've cleaned the system completely. I like to put it on prime first, and use my hose here and put it down into the bottom of the hopper and kind of make a tight seal, and then push a little water through it until I get some flow there. Alright? I've seen flow. I've seen the water travel through the hopper all the way out the prime tube. Right? So now I'm going to give it some pumps and see if we can get it to pump more. She's trying. Send it up through the gun. And if we can build some pressure here. Jumped right up. Nice. And we're just going to send it out the gun side. Yeah. We got some action. No worries, right? Catalyzed paint is almost 24 hours before I was finally able to get to it. Still working, still building pressure. I didn't even need one replacement part besides the spray tube, which I knew was going to be trash anyway, so. So as the water gets closer to the hopper here, the bottom of the hopper, I'm going to move the spray over here and kind of clean out the hopper a little bit with the spray, and then go back to the sink. Sounds good. I'm just going to pump all the water all the way out. All right. Whew. Now, I'm going to release the pressure here. All right. Now I'm going to open this bad boy back up. I'm going to put the filters in. Put the filter back into the gun. You can see it's real clean in here. The only, there's very little anything in there. It's nice and super clean. Now, I guess we did a good job cleaning. So that's it. That is how to save your Tritech. And this is pretty much true for the Tritech T4, T5, right up. I mean, they're very similar. And that's how to clean out a machine from Catalyzed paint. So thanks for watching, and if this video helped you out, I'm glad.